Dreaming as the days goes by, dreaming as the summer stops, ever drifting down the stream, lingering in the golden gleam. Life, what is it but a dream?
What's the use of a book without pictures or conversation? Should we make a daisy chain, Dinah? No. It's too hard to take the trouble out of getting up and picking the daisies. Oh, look, a white rabbit! There's nothing so very remarkable in that.
Oh, dear, oh dear! I shall be late!
However, that is very remarkable. I have never before seen a rabbit with either a waistcoat pocket or a watch to take it out of.
Alice? Alice? Alice! Alice, where are you going?
Either this well is very deep, or I'm falling very slowly. I wonder what's going to happen next. Well, after such a fall as this, I shall think nothing of tumbling downstairs. I wonder how many miles I've fallen by now. I wonder if I shall fall right through the earth.
Oh, my ears and whiskers! How late it's getting!
Look at this tiny golden key. But the locks are too large and the key's too small. They won't open any of them. A door!
Oh, the Duchess, the Duchess. Oh, she'd be savage if I kept her waiting.
If you please, sir. Dear, how poor everything is today. And yesterday, things went on just as usual. Was I the same when I got up this morning? And if I'm not the same, the next question is, who in the world am I? Oh, that's a great puzzle. Oh dear, how puzzling it all is. I'll try and find out all the things I used to know. Let's see. 4 times 5 is 12. And 4 times 6 is 13. And 4 times 7 is... No, that's all wrong. I'm so very tired of being all alone here. How could I have done that? Well, that was a narrow escape. And now for the garden. I wish I hadn't cried so much. I shall be punished for it now, I suppose. By being drowned in my own tears. And that would be a queer thing to be for sure. However, everything is queer today. Oh, Mouse, will you please show me the way out of the swimming pool? I'm so very tired of swimming about here. Oh, Mouse! Perhaps because it speaks English. I dare say it's a French-speaking mouse. Où est ma chatte? Oh, I beg your pardon. I quite forgot you didn't like cats.
Not like cats! With you!
Oh. But she must have a prize herself, you know. Of course. What else have you got in your pockets? Give me a symbol. Give it here. We beg your acceptance of this elegant symbol. Story, story, story. You promised to tell me your history. You know what it is you hate, see? Mine is a long and sad tale. It is a long tale, certainly, but why do you call it sad? Fury said to a mouse that he met in the house, "Come, let us both go to law. I will persecute you. Come, I'll take no denial. We must have a trial." You are not attending. What are you thinking of? I beg your pardon? You forgot the fifth bend, I think. I had that! Enough! Oh, please let me help you undo it. I shall do nothing of the sort. You insult me by talking such nonsense. I didn't mean it, but you just get so easily offended. Oh, please come back and finish your story. What a pity it wouldn't stay.
Dear, let this be a lesson to you, or to never lose your temper.
You're enough to try the patience of an oyster.
I wish I had our Dinah here. I know I do. She'd soon fetch it back.
And who is this Dinah, if I might venture to ask the question?
Dinah's our cat. And she's such a capital one for catching mice. And oh, I wish you could see her after birds. Why, she'll catch a bird as soon as look at it.
I really must be going. The night air doesn't suit my throat.
Please, to make your acquaintance. Goodbye. I wish I hadn't mentioned Dinah. Nobody seems to like her down here. Return, Dinah. When shall I ever see you again?
Oh, the Duchess! Oh, my dear paws! Oh, my fur and whiskers! She'll have me executed! As sure as birds are ferrets!
Can I have dropped them, I wonder?
Why, Marianne, what are you doing here? Run home this moment and fetch me a pair of gloves. And a fan. Quick! Now!
Wow.
Then I'll get it out the window.
That you won't!
Pat, where are you?
I'm here, digging for apples, Your Honor.
Here, come, digging for apples, indeed. Here, come, help me out with this. Now tell me, Pat, what's that at the window?
Sure, it's a arm, Your Honor.
An arm, you goose? Whoever saw one that size might fill the whole window.
Sure it does, Your Honor, but it's a arm for all that.
Well, it's got no business there. At any rate, go and take it away.
Sure, I don't like it, Your Honor. Ow,
Do as I tell you, you coward.
I know what they'll do next is they're pulling me out of the window. I only wish they could. I'm sure I don't want to stay in here any longer.
Where's the other ladder?
Why, I haven't bring but one. Bill's got the other. Bill, fetch it here, lad. Here, what about this corner? No, tie 'em together first. They don't reach half as high enough yet. That will do well enough. Don't be particular. Here, Bill, catch hold of this rope. Ah. Ow. Ouch. Will the roof bear? Mine was slate. Oh, it's coming down. It's below! Ah! Now who did that? Ah! 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 It was Bill, I fancy. But who's to go through the little door? Nah, I shan't. You do it. Then I won't then. Bill's to go. Here, Bill. The master says you're to go through the little door.
Oh, so Bill's got to go down the little door, has he? Shy. They seem to put everything upon Bill. I wouldn't be in Bill's place for a good deal. This fireplace is narrow to be sure, but I think I can kick a little. Oh, this is Bill.
There goes Bill!
Catch him, you, by the hedge.
Hold his head! Don't choke him! What happened to you, old fellow? Tell us all about it.
I hardly know. All I know is something comes at me like a jack in the box, and up I goes like a skyrocket.
It seems so, old fellow.
We must burn the house down.
If you do, I'll set dynamite at you. I wonder what they'll do next. If they had any sense, they'd take the roof off.
A barrowful will do to begin with.
A barrel full of what? I'll put a stop to this. You better not do that again. If I eat one of these cakes, it's sure to make some change in my size. And as it can't possibly make me grow larger, it must make me grow smaller, I suppose. The first thing I've got to do is to grow to my right size again. And the second thing is to make my way into that lovely garden. I think that would be the best plan. Hardly know, ma'am. Just a present. At least I knew who I was when I got up this morning. But I must have changed it several times since then. Oh, what do you mean by that? Explain yourself. I can't explain myself. I'm afraid because I'm not myself, you see. I don't see. I'm afraid I can't put it any more clearly, for I can't understand it myself to begin with. And being so many different sizes in a day is very confusing. That's not true. Well, perhaps you haven't found it so yet, but when you have to turn into a chrysalis, you will someday, you know. And then after that into a butterfly, I should think you'll feel a little queer, won't you? Not a bit. Well, perhaps Do you? I'm afraid I am, ma'am. I can't remember things as I used to, and I don't keep the same size for 10 minutes altogether. Can't remember one thing. Well, I've tried to say, how doth the little busy bee? But it all came different. Repeat, your old Father William. Your old Father William, said the youth, and your hair has become very white, and you insistently stand on your head. Do you think at your age it is right? And my youth Father William replied to his son, I feared it might enter the brain. Now that I'm perfectly sure I have none, why? I do it again and again. You are old, said the youth, and your jaws are too weak for anything tougher than soup. Yet you finished the goose with the bones in the beak. Pray, how did you manage to do it? My youth, said the father, I took to the law and argued each case with my wife, and the muscular strength which gave to my jaw has lasted the rest of my life. That is not said right. Not quite right, I'm afraid. Some words have got altered. It is wrong from beginning to end. What size do you want to be? Oh, I'm not particular as to size. Only one doesn't like changing so often, you know. Me do it, Noah. Jeez, are you contented now? Well, I'm not used to it. I wish other creatures wouldn't get so easily offended. You'll get used to it in time. One side of the mushroom, make it grow taller. The other side, make it grow shorter. Now which is which? My head's free at last. What can all that green stuff be? Oh, and where have my shoulders got to? And all my poor little hand tells that I can't see you. Serpent! Not a serpent! Leave me alone!
Serpent, I say again. And just as I've taken the highest tree in the wood, and just as I was thinking I'll be free of them at last, they must needs come wriggling down from the sky. Serpent!
But I'm not a serpent! I am...
Well, what are you? I can see you're trying to invent something.
I'm a little girl.
A likely story, indeed. I've seen a good many little girls in my time, but never one with such a neck as that. No, you're a serpent. There's no use denying it. I suppose you'll be telling me next that you never tasted eggs.
I have tasted eggs, certainly. Little girls eat eggs quite as much as serpents do, you know.
I don't believe it. You're looking for eggs. I know that well enough. And what does it matter to me whether you're a little girl or a serpent?
Matters a good deal to me. But I'm not looking for eggs as it happens. And if I was, I shouldn't want yours. I don't let them raw.
Well, be off then. Ugh.
How puzzling all these changes are. I'm never sure what I'm going to be from one minute to another. And the next thing is, to make my way to that lovely garden. How was that to be done, I wonder?
queen an invitation for the Duchess to play croquet. There's no sorting news enough, and that for two reasons. First, because I'm on the same side of the door as you are. Secondly, because they're making such noise inside, no one can possibly hear you.
Please, son, how am I to get in?
There might be some sense in it, Uncle. If we had the door between us. For instance, if you were inside, you might knock. And I could let you out, you know?
How am I to get in?
I shall sit there till tomorrow, or the next day maybe.
How am I to get in?
Are you to get in at all? That's the first question, you know?
It's really dreadful the way all these creatures argue. It's enough to drive me crazy.
I shall sit there, on and off, for days and days.
What am I to do?
Anything you like.
There's no use in talking to him. He's perfectly idiotic. Oh, there's certainly too much pepper in that soup. Please, will you tell me why your cat always grins like that?
It's a Cheshire cat, and that's why.
I didn't know Cheshire cats always grin. In fact, I didn't know cats could grin.
They all can, and most of them do.
Don't know of any that do.
You don't know much, and that's a fact.
Please mind what you're doing. There goes his precious nose.
Does everybody mind their own business? The world feels faster than it does.
Which would not be an advantage. Just think of what work it would make with the day and night. You see, the Earth takes 24 hours to turn around its axis.
Talking of access, jump overhead!
24 hours? I think. Or is it 12?
Oh, don't bother me. I never could abide by figures. Speak roughly to your little boy and beat him when he sneezes. He only does it to annoy and because he knows he did it! I speak severely to my boy. I beat him when he sneezes, for he thoroughly enjoys the pepper when he fingers! Here! I was going to get ready to play croquet with the
If I don't take this child away with me, they're sure to kill it in a day or two. Wouldn't it be murder to leave it behind? Oh, don't grunt. It's not at all a proper way of expressing yourself. But perhaps it was only sobbing. If you're gonna turn into a pig, my dear, I have nothing more to do with you mine now. Now, what am I to do with this child when I get home? If I had grown up, I would have been a dreadfully ugly child. But it makes for a rather handsome pig. I think. If one only knew the right way to change them. Cheshire Cat, would you please tell me which way I have to go from here?
That depends a great deal on where you want to get to.
I don't much care where.
Well then, it doesn't matter where you go.
So long as I get somewhere.
Be sure to do that as long as you walk long enough.
What sort of people live about here?
Well, in that direction lives a hatter, and in that direction lives a marcher. Visit either you like. They're both mad.
But I don't want to go among mad people.
Oh, you can't help that.
Bro, mad here. I'm mad. You're mad.
How do you know I'm mad?
Well, you must be, or you never would have come to here.
And how do you know that you're mad?
Well, adults not mad. You grant that.
I suppose so.
Well, see, an old prowls when it's angry, and it wags its tail when it's pleased.
like. Ooh, did you play croquet with the queen today?
I should like it very much, but I haven't been invited yet.
You'll see me there. Ooh, by the by, whatever became of that baby? I nearly forgot to ask.
It turned into a pig.
I thought it would.
I've seen hatters before. The marcher will be much most interesting. And perhaps in this May, it won't be raving mad.
Did you say pig or fig?
I said pig! And I wish you wouldn't keep appearing and vanishing so suddenly. You make me quite giddy.
All right.
Well, I've often seen a cat without a grin, but a grin without a cat? It's the most curious thing I ever saw in my life. Suppose it should be raving mad after all. Very uncomfortable for the dormouse. Only as it sleeps. I suppose it doesn't mind.
No room! No room!
Oh, there's plenty of room. Have some wine. Do you see any wine?
There isn't any.
Then it wasn't very civil of you to offer.
It wasn't very civil of you to sit down without being invited.
I didn't know it was your table. It's late for a great many more than 3.
Your hair wants cutting.
You should learn not to make such personal remarks. It's very rude.
Why is a raven like a writing desk?
Oh, come on, they become next in riddles. I believe I can guess that.
Do you mean that you think you can find out the answer to it?
Exactly so.
Then you should say what you mean.
I do. At least I mean what I say. That's all the same thing, you know?
It's not the same thing a bit. You might as well say, I eat what I see. It's the same thing as I see what I eat.
You might as well just say, I get what I like. It's the same thing as I like what I get.
You may just as well say that
I sleep when I breathe is the same thing as I breathe when I sleep.
It's the same thing with you. What day of the month is it?
The 4th.
2 days wrong. I told you butter wouldn't suit the works.
That was the best butter. What a funny watch. It tells the day of the month and doesn't tell what o'clock it is.
Why should it? Does yours tell you what year it is?
Of course not. But that's because it stays the same year for such a long time together.
Just the same case as mine.
I don't quite understand you.
Of course. Just what I was going to remark myself.
Have you guessed the riddle yet?
No. I give up. What's the answer?
I haven't the slightest idea.
I think you might make better with the time than wasting it in asking riddles that have no answers.
Oh, if you knew time as well as I do, you wouldn't talk about wasting it. It's him.
I don't understand you.
Of course you don't. I dare say you never even spoke to Tom.
Well, perhaps not. But I know I have to beat time whenever I learn music.
Ah, that accounts for it. He will stay busy. begin lessons. You'd only have to whisper ahead to time, and round goes the clock in twinkling, 1:30. Time for dinner!
I only wish it was. Well, that would be grand, certainly, but I shouldn't be hungry for it, you know?
Not at first, perhaps, but you could keep it 1:30 for as long as you would like.
Is that the way you manage?
Not I. We quarreled last March, just before he went mad. You know, it was at the great concert given by the Queen of Hearts, and I had to sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Bat, how I wonder what you're at. You know the song, perhaps?
I've heard something like it.
Ma, up above the world you fly, like a teacher in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle,
Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle.
whoa. Well, I hardly finished the first verse when the queen shut up and bawled out, "He's murdering the time of Footy's head."
How dreadfully savage!
And ever since that, the one thing I ask is always 6 o'clock now.
Is that the reason so many tea things are put out here?
Yes, that's it. It's always tea time.
You keep moving around, I suppose.
Exactly so, as some things get used up.
But what happens when you get to the beginning again?
Suppose we'll change the subject. I'm getting quite tired of this. I thought the young lady tells us a story.
Oh, yes.
Well, I'm afraid I don't know one.
It's a Dormouse shout! Wake up, Dormouse!
I wasn't asleep. I heard every word you fellows were saying.
Tell us the story.
Yes, please do.
And be quick about it, or you'll fall asleep before it's done.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little sisters who lived at the bottom of a well.
Why did they live at the bottom of a well?
They lived on treacle.
They couldn't have done that, you know. They'd have been ill.
So they were. Very ill.
Then why did they live at the bottom of a well?
Take some more tea.
We've had nothing yet, so I can't take more.
You mean we can't take less? It's very easy to take more than nothing.
Nobody asked for your opinion.
Who's making personal remarks now?
Would you tell me when they lived at the bottom of a well?
It was a treacle well.
There's no such thing!
Well, if you can't be civil, you better finish the story for yourself.
No, please. I want to act again. Continue your story.
Indeed. So, these 3 little sisters, they were learning to draw, you know?
What did they draw on?
Treacle.
Ugh,
I will simply gone. Let's move one place on.
but I'm confused. Where did they draw the treacle from?
If you can draw water out of a water well, I suppose you could draw treacle out of a treacle well.
But they were in a well!
Of course they were. Anyway, they were learning to draw, and they drew all manner of things. Things that begin with an M.
Why was an M?
Why not? Alice was silent.
That begins with an M, such as mouse traps, and the moon, and memory, and muchness. You know, you say things are much of a muchness, but have you ever heard of a such thing as a drawing of a muchness?
Well, now that you ask me, I don't think I've ever...
Then you shouldn't talk.
At any rate, I'll never come here again.
It's a very fine day.
Very. Where's the Duchess?
Hush! She's under the sentence of execution.
What for?
Did you say what a pity?
No, I don't think it's a pity at all. I said, what for?
She boxed the queen's ears. Hush! Hush! The queen will hear you. You see, she came right late. The queen said...
Out of the way!
Get to your places!
This is a very difficult game indeed.
Off with their heads! Off with their heads!
I know how to dispute with the queen. That might happen at any minute, and then what will become of me? They're so dreadfully fond of beheading people here. The great wonder is if there's anyone left alive. It's the treasury cat. Now I shall have somebody to talk to.
How are you getting on?
I don't think they play fairly at all. And they all quarrel so much one can't hear oneself speak. And you've no idea how confusing it is all the things being alive. For instance, there's the arch I've got to go through walking next about at the other end of the ground. And I should have croqueted the queen's hedgehog just now. Only it ran away when it saw mine coming.
How do you like the queen?
Not at all. She's so extremely likely to win that it's hardly worthwhile finishing the game.
Who are you talking to?
It's a friend of mine, the treasury cat. If you'll allow me to introduce him.
I don't like a little bit at all. However, can I kiss the hand if it likes?
Ew. I'd rather not.
Don't be impertinent! And don't look at me like that!
A cat may look at a king. I've read that in a book, but I don't know how to wear.
Well, we must remove it. My dear, I want that cat removed!
Off with his head!
I'll fetch an executioner myself!
But it doesn't matter much. As long as the archers are gone from the sight of the ground.
Off with his head! Off with his head! Off with his head!
I never had to do that.
Off with his head! Off with his head!
If it has a head, it can be beheaded. Don't talk such nonsense.
If something isn't done about it in less than no time, I'll have everyone executed!
But it belongs to the Duchess. You better ask her about it.
Silence! She's in prison. Fetch her here. should you have appeared to them to be otherwise?
I think I should understand that better if I had it written down, but I can't quite follow it as you say it.
That's nothing to what I could say if I chose.
Pray don't trouble yourself to say it any longer than that.
Don't talk about trouble. I'll make you president of everything I've said as of yet. And the more that you can.
Walk with your head!
Good day, Your Majesty.
Have you seen the mock turtle yet?
No, I don't even know what a mock turtle is.
It's the thing mock turtle soup is made from.
Well, I never saw one or heard of one.
Well, come on then, and he shall tell you his history.
You are all pardoned.
That's a good thing!
Yay!
Get up, lazy thing, and take this young lady to see the mock turtle and to hear his history. I must go back to see everything my pictures that I ordered.
What fun!
What is the fun?
Why, it's all her fancy that they never executes nobody, you know? Come on!
Everybody says come on here. I never was so worried about it all my life. Never. What is the sorrow?
It's all his fancy that he hasn't got any sorrow, you know? Come on! This here young lady wants for to know your history, she do.
Oh, all right. I'll tell her. Sit down, both of you, and don't speak a word till I've finished. Once, I was a real turtle. And when we were little, we went to school in the sea. And there was a master. He was an old turtle. We called him Tortoise.
Why did you call him Tortoise if he wasn't one?
We called him Tortoise because he taught us. Really, you are very dull.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself for asking such a simple question.
Yes, we went to school in the sea. Though you may believe it.
I never said I didn't.
You did.
Hold your tongue!
We had the best of educations. We went to school every day.
I went to a day school too, you know. You needn't be so proud as all that.
With extras?
Yes. We learned French and music.
Ah. Then yours wasn't really a good school then. Now at our school we had French, music, reading, writing, of course to begin with. Then the branches of arithmetic, ambition, distraction, uglification, and derision.
Uglification? I've never heard of that. What is it?
What? Never heard of uglifying? You know what to beautify is, I suppose.
Yes. It means to make anything prettier.
If you don't know what to uglify is, then you are a simpleton.
And how many hours a day did you do lessons?
10 the first, 9 the next, and so on.
What a curious plan.
That's the reason they're called lessons, because they lesson from day to day.
The 11th day must have been a holiday.
Of course it was.
The trial is beginning.
Come on, what trial?
The Queen of Hearts, she made some tarts, all on a summer day. The Knave of Hearts, he stole those tarts and took them quite away.
Good. Now, let the jury consider their verdicts.
Not yet, not yet. There's a great deal to come before that.
Call first witness.
First witness! The first witness was the Hatter. He came with a teacup in one hand and a piece of bread and butter in the other.
I beg pardon, Your Majesty, for bringing these in, but I hadn't quite finished my tea when I was sick for.
Ought to have finished. When did you begin?
Oh. The 14th of March, I think it was.
16.
Write it down, and then add it up, and then convert it to shillings and pence. Take off your hat.
It isn't mine!
Stolen!
Oh, I give them to stale. I've none of my own. I'm a hatter.
Give your evidence, and don't be nervous, or I'll have you executed on the spot.
I beg pardon, Your Majesty, but I had to pick up my tea out of a winkle stone, with the bread and butter getting so thin, and the twinkle of the tea.
The twinkling of a what?
It begins with the tea.
Of course, twinkling begins with a T. What are you taking for a dunce? Go on.
I beg pardon, Your Majesty. And most things twinkled after that, only the musher said.
I did
You
it!
did!
I deny it!
Oh,
Denies it. He found that part.
at any rate, he did. I got some more bread and butter after that.
What did the doorbell say?
That I can remember.
You must remember, or I'll have you executed.
I beg pardon, Your Majesty.
You're a poor speaker.
I'm glad I've seen that done. I so often read in newspapers at the end of trials. There were some attempts at applause, which was immediately suppressed by the officers of the court. And I never understood what it meant until now.
If that's all you know, you may stand down.
I can't go any lower. I'm on the frost is.
Then you may sit down.
Okay.
Come, I'm not finished the guinea pigs. Now we shall get on then.
I'd rather finish my tea instead.
There you go.
And take his hat off outside.
Call the next witness.
I'm very curious to see what the next witness is going to be like, for they haven't got much evidence yet.
Alice!
I'm here. Do I beg your pardon?
What do you know of this business?
Nothing.
Nothing whatever?
Nothing whatever.
That's very important.
Unimportant, Your Majesty means, of course.
Unimportant, I meant. Important. Unimportant. Important. Forget it.
But it doesn't matter a bit.
Silence. Consider your verdict.
There's more evidence to come, please, Your Majesty. The paper has just been picked up.
What's in it?
I haven't opened it yet, but it seems to be a letter written by the prisoner to somebody.
Well, it must have been that. Unless it was written to nobody. Which is very unusual, you know?
Who was it directed to?
It isn't directed at all. In fact, there's nothing written on the outside. It isn't a letter, after all. It's a set of verses.
Please, Your Majesty, I didn't write it, and they can't prove I did. There's no name signed at the end.
If you didn't sign it, that only makes matters worse. Cause you must have meant some mischief, or else you would have written your name like an honest man.
That proves his guilt.
It proves nothing of the sort. Why, you don't even know what they're about.
Read them. Where shall I begin? Please, Your Majesty.
Start at the beginning, and then go on until you reach the end. Then stop.
I gave her one, they gave him two, they gave us three or more. They all returned from him to you, though they were mine before. Don't let him know that she liked them best, for this must ever be a secret kept from all the rest between yourself and me.
Ooh, that's the best piece of evidence heard yet. Now, let the jury.
If any one of them can explain it, I'll give him 6 pence. I don't believe there's an atom of meaning in it. Why, the jury all wrote down on their slates.
She doesn't believe there's an atom of meaning to it.
If there's no atom of meaning to it, that says a world of trouble. You know, as we need to find it. Yet still, I don't know. He gave her 1, she gave him 2. Dad must think we did the tarts, you know?
But it goes on. They all return from him to you.
What? There they are! Nothing could be clearer than that. Then again, before she had this fit, you're gonna need fits, my dear, I think.
Never!
Then the words don't fit you! It's a pun! Now, let the jury consider their verdicts.
No, 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 no! Sentence first, verdicts afterwards.
Well, stuff and nonsense. The idea of having the sentence first Jabberwocky. 'Twas brilling, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wave. All mimsy were the burrow groves, and the mole, brads, outgrab. It's very pretty, but it's rather hard to understand. Oh, let's have a look at that garden! Oh, Tiger Lily, I wish you could talk.
They can't talk if there's anybody worth talking to.
Oh, and can all the flowers talk?
As well as you can, and a great deal louder.
It's not matters for us to begin, you know. Said I to myself, her face has got some sense in it, although it's not a clever one. Still, you're the right color. That only goes a long way.
I don't care about the color. If only her petals curled up a little bit more, then she'd be all right.
Aren't you sometimes frightened of being planted out here with nobody to take care of you? There's a mushroom in the middle. What else is it good for? But what good could it do if any danger came?
Says Bow Wow. That's why its spots are called bows.
Didn't you know that? Silence! Both of you! They know I can't get at them or they wouldn't dare to do it!
Never mind. If you don't hold your tongues, I'll pick you.
That's right! The daisies are worst of all. When one starts, the other must begin. And it's enough to make one wither the way they go on.
How is it that you can all talk so nicely? I've been in many gardens before, but none of the flowers could talk.
Put your hand up and feel the grass. Then you'll know why.
It's very hard, but I don't see what that has to do with it.
In most gardens, they make the beds too soft, so the flowers are always asleep.
I never thought of that before. It's my opinion you never think at all.
I've never saw anybody that was stupider.
Hold your tongue, as if you ever saw anybody. You keep your head under the leaves, snoring away until you know no more what's going on in the world than if you were a bud. Are there any more people in the garden besides me? There's one girl who can walk around like you. I wonder how you do it.
You're always wondering!
Is she like me? There's another little girl in the garden somewhere? Well, she has the same awkward shape as you, but she's redder, and her petals are shorter, I think.
Her petals are done up close, almost like a dahlia. Not tumbled about anyhow, like yours.
But one can't help one's petals getting a little untidy with age. Does she ever come out here? I dare say you'll see her soon. She's one of the thorny kind. Where does she wear the thorns? Why, all on her head, of course. I was wondering why you had it the same. It's the normal protocol.
She's coming! I hear her footsteps!
Oh, think I'll go meet her. I would advise you to go the other way. I don't want to do that.
Where do you come from and where are you going? Look up, speak nicely, and don't twiddle your fingers all the time.
I have lost my way.
I don't know what you mean by your way. All the ways about here belong to me. But why did you come here at all? Curtsy while you think what to say. It saves time. Open your mouth a little wider when you speak, and always say your majesty.
I only wanted to see what the garden was like. Your Majesty.
That's right. Though when you say garden, I've seen gardens to which this would be compared with a wilderness.
I declare it's marked out just like a large chessboard. It's a great huge game of chess being played all over the world. If this is the world at all, you know. Oh, what fun it is! How I wish I was one of them. I wouldn't mind being a pawn. If only I might join. Though, of course, I should like to be a queen, best.
That's easily managed. You can be the wife while you're refreshing yourself, I'll just take the measurements. At the end of 2 yards, I shall give you your directions. Have a biscuit?
No, thank you. One's quite enough.
They're quenched, I hope. At the end of 3 yards, I shall repeat them for fear of your forgetting them. At the end of 4, I shall say goodbye. And at the end of 5, I shall go. A pawn goes 2 squares in his first move, you know. So you'll go very quickly through the 3rd square by railway, I should think. And you should find yourself in the 4th square in no time. Well, that square belongs to Tweedledum and Tweedledee. The 5th is where you'll meet the White Queen. And the 6th belongs to Humpty Dumpty. But you make no remark?
I didn't know I had to make one just then.
You should have said, it's extremely kind of you to tell me all this. However, we'll suppose it's said. The 7th square is all forest. However, one of the knights will show you the way. And in the 8th square, we shall be queens together, and it's all feasting and fun. Speak French when you can't think of English for a thing. Turn your toes out as you walk, and remember who you are. Goodbye.
I'm sure I'm very sorry.
I know what you're thinking about, but is it so? Now, how? Contrary-wise, if it was so, it might be. And if it were so, it would be. But as it isn't, it ain't. That's logic.
I was thinking, which is the best way out of this wood? It's coming on very dark. Can you tell me, please?
The first thing in a visit is to say how-do-you-do and shake hands. So much obliged. You like poetry?
Yes, some poetry. Would you please tell me which road leads out of the wood?
What shall I repeat to her? The walrus and the carpenter. Oh. The walrus and the carpenter were walking close at hand. They wept like anything to see such quantities of sand. Is this worldly curd away?
They said.
It would be grand. Come and walk with us.
The waters that beseech.
A pleasant walk, a pleasant talk along the pretty beach. We cannot live more than 4, take a hand to each. 4 young oysters hurried up, all eager for the treat. Their coats were brushed, their faces washed, their shoes were clean and neat. And this was odd because, they hadn't any feet. The walrus and the carpenter walked on a mile or so, and they rested on a rock conveniently low. And all the little oysters stood and waited in a row. The time has come, the walrus said, to talk of many things. Of stews and sips and sealing wax, of cabbages and kitties, and when the sea is boiling hot, or the pigs have the wings. A loaf of bread, the walrus said, is what we chiefly need. Pepper and vinegar besides are very good indeed. Now, oysters dear, if you're ready now, we can begin to feed. But not on us!
The oysters cried.
Turning a little blue after such kindness, that would be a sinful thing to do. The night is fine.
The walrus said.
Can't you admire the view? It seems a shame.
The walrus said.
To plan of such a trick, and to make them run so far, and we make them trunk so quick. The carpenters said nothing, but the butter spread too thick. I wait for you.
The walrus said.
I deeply sympathize.
The sobs and tears he sorted out, those of the largest size, holding his pucker handkerchief before his steaming eyes.
Oh, oysters,
Said the carpenter.
we've had a pleasant run. Shall we be turning home again? But answer came there none, and that was scarcely odd, because in the end every one.
Well, they both seem like very unpleasant characters. Do you know if there's any She's all over pins. Can you put your shell straight for you?
I don't know what's the matter with it. I pinned it here, I pinned it there, but there's no pleasing it.
It can't go straight, you know, if you pin it all on one side. And dear me, what state your hair is in.
The brush got entangled in it, and I lost the comb yesterday.
Come, you look rather better now. But really, you should have a lady's maid.
I'm sure. I'll take you with pleasure. 2 pins a week and jam every other day.
But I don't want you to hire me, and I don't care for jam.
Oh, but it's very good jam.
Well, I shouldn't want any today at any rate.
Well, you couldn't have it if you did want it. The rule is, jam tomorrow, jam yesterday, but never jam today.
It must come sometimes to jam today.
No, it can't. It's jam every other day. Today isn't every other day, you know.
I don't understand you. This is all so dreadfully confusing.
That's the effect of living backwards. It always makes one a little giddy at first.
Living backwards? I've never heard of such a thing.
Ah, but there's one great advantage. Memory works both ways.
I'm sure mine only works one way. I can't remember things before they happen.
Oh, it's a poor sort of thing that only works backwards.
What sort of things do you remember best?
Oh, things that happen the week after next. For instance, the king's messenger. He's in prison, and the trial doesn't begin till next Wednesday. And of course, the crime comes last of all.
Suppose he never commits the crime.
That would be the better, wouldn't it?
Of course it would be all the better. But it wouldn't be all the better his being punished.
You're wrong there. At any rate, were you ever punished?
Only for faults.
And you're the better for it, I know.
Yes. But then I have done all the things I was punished for. That makes all the difference.
If you hadn't done them, that would have been the better still. Better! And better! And better! There's something wrong here. Ow! Ow!
What's the matter?
Ow!
Have you pricked your finger?
Oh, my finger's bleeding! Oh. I haven't pricked it yet, but I soon shall.
Well, when do you expect to do it?
Oh, when I fasten my shawl again and the brooch comes undone.
Take care. You're holding it all crooked.
Oh, that accounts for the bleeding, you see. Now do you understand the way things happen here?
But why don't you scream now?
Why, I've done all the screaming already. What's the good of doing it all over again?
Can you keep from crying by considering these things?
That's the way it's done. Nobody can do 2 things at once. Let's consider your age to begin with. How old are you?
I'm 7.5 exactly.
You needed to say exactly.
I can believe without that. Now I'll give you something to believe. I am 105 months and a day.
I can't believe that.
Can't you? Try again. Take a breath in and shut your eyes.
There's no use in trying. One can't believe such impossible things.
I dare say. You haven't had much practice. When I was your age, well, I practiced a half hour a day. Well, I can believe at least 6 impossible things before breakfast. Oh, my shawl! I got it! Now you shall see me fasten it all over again.
Well, I hope your finger's better now.
Oh, much better! Better! Better!
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty in his place again. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty in his place again.
Stand there chattering yourself like that. Tell me your name and your business.
My name is Alice, but
It's a stupid enough name. What does it mean?
does the name mean something?
Of course it must. My name is the shape I am, and a good, handsome shape it is too.
Why do you sit up here all alone?
Why? Because there's nobody with me. Did you think I didn't know the answer to that? Ask another.
Oh, don't you think you'd be safer on the ground? That wall is very narrow.
What tremendously easy riddles you ask. Of course I haven't.
has promised me.
To send all of his horses and all of his men.
No, I declare that's too bad. You've been listening outdoors or you couldn't have known it.
No, indeed I haven't. It's in a book.
Ah, well, they may write such things in a book. Yes, all his horses and all his men would pick me up again in a minute. They would.
What a beautiful belt you've got on. At least, a beautiful carpet. No, I should have said, though I beg your pardon. If only I knew which was neck and which was waist.
It's a most provoking thing when a person doesn't know a corvette from a belt.
No, it's very ignorant of me.
It's a corvette, child, and a beautiful one, as you say. It's a present from the White King and Queen.
Is it really?
They gave it to me. They gave it to me as a birthday present.
I beg your pardon?
I'm not offended.
No, I mean, what is an unbirthday present?
A present given to you when it isn't your birthday, of course.
Well, I like birthday presents best.
You don't know what you're talking about. How many days are there in a year?
365.
And how many birthdays do you have?
One.
And to take one from 365, what remains?
364, of course.
You have 364 days when you could get an unbirthday present.
Certainly.
And only one birthday present, you know? There's glory for you.
I don't know what you mean by glory.
Of course you don't, till I tell you. I mean, there's a nice knockdown argument for you.
But glory doesn't mean a nice knockdown argument.
When I choose a word, it means just what I choose it to mean, neither more nor less.
Oh, you seem very clever at explaining words, sir. Would you kindly tell me the meaning of a poem named Jabberwocky?
Let's hear it. I can explain all the poems that have ever been invented, and a good many that haven't been invented just yet.
'Twas brilling, and the slithy toes did gyre and gimble in the way. All mimsy were the burl groves, and the mole, brads, outgrab.
That's enough for now. There are plenty hard words there. Brilliant means 4 o'clock in the afternoon, time to start boiling things for dinner.
Oh, I see it now. And slithy?
Slithy is life and slabby. Life is the same as active. You see, it's like a portmanteau, 2 meanings packed up into 1 word.
Oh, I get it. And what are toes?
Toads are something like badgers, there's something like lizards, and there's something like corkscrews.
They must be very curious-looking creatures.
They are that. They also make their nests under sundials. Also, they live on cheese.
And what's the gyre and to gimble?
To gyre is to go around and around like a gyroscope. To gimble is to make holes like a gimlet.
And the wave must mean the grass cutter on the sundial, I suppose.
Exactly so. Well then, Mimsy is flimsy and miserable. And a borough is a thin, chappy-looking bird with feathers sticking out all around, like a live moth.
And what are mole rats?
Raff is a sort of a green pig. But mome, I think it's short for from home, meaning it's off its way, no?
And what does outgrab mean?
Outgrabbing is something between bellowing and whistling. And that kind of sneeze in the middle. Who's been repeating all these hard words to you?
Nothing. It's in a book. Is that all?
That's all. Goodbye.
Bye. Till we meet again.
I shouldn't know you again if we ever were to meet. You're so exactly like other people. Your face the same as everybody else. 2 eyes, nose in the middle, mouth under. It's always the same. Now, if you had 2 eyes on the same side of the nose, for instance, or the mouth at the top, that would be some help.
It wouldn't look very nice.
Wait till you've tried.
Well, goodbye. What the unsatisfactory? Of all the unsatisfactory people I've ever met.
Look along the road and tell me if you can see my messenger.
I don't see anybody on the road.
Has some eyes. So you ever see nobody? And at that distance too?
Oh, I see somebody now. But he's moving very slowly. And dear me, what curious attitudes he goes into.
Not at all. She's an Anglo-Saxon messenger, and those are Anglo-Saxon attitudes. She only does them when she's happy. Her name is Lydia.
Love my love with an H because I am happy. Hate him with an H because he is hideous. I fed him with ham sandwiches and hay. His name is Haga and he
He
lives.
lives on a hill. The other messenger is called Hatta. And what's that too? You know, once a come and once a go.
I beg your pardon?
It's respectable to beg.
No, I mean, why want to come and want to go?
Didn't I tell
vegetable? Or a mineral?
It's a fabulous monster. What a fight we must have for the crown now.
I will surely win.
Oh, I'm not so sure of that.
Why, I beat you all around the town, you chicken.
Oh, around the town? That's a good long way.
I don't like belonging to another person's dream. But a great mind to go and wake him and see what happens.
Ahoy! Ahoy! Jack, you are my prisoner!
You're my...
Ahoy! Ahoy!
Shut!
She's our prisoner, you know.
Yes, but then I came and rescued her.
We must fight for her then.
You will observe the rules of battle, of course.
We always do!
Huzzah! Ah! Ah! That was a glorious victory. Wasn't it?
I don't know. I don't want to be anybody's prisoner. I want to be a queen.
So you shall. I'll see you safe down to end the road. Then I must leave. You know, that's the end of my move.
I'm afraid you've not had much practice in writing.
What makes you say that?
Because one doesn't fall so often when they've had much practice.
I've had plenty of practice, okay? Plenty of practice.
Indeed.
See, the art of writing is too...
No bones are broken.
Bones broken? None to speak of. See, the art of writing is to keep your balance. Like this.
That's too ridiculous. What a curious moment you got on.
Yes! But I bet there's something better than that. Why, the cleverest sort thing that I ever made was a new pudding during the meat course.
Time to have it cooked for the next course?
No, not the next course. Certainly not the next course.
Then it would have to be the next day, I suppose. I know you wouldn't want 2 pudding courses in one dinner.
Not the next day, certainly not the next day. In fact, I don't think the pudding was ever cooked. In fact, I don't think the pudding will ever be cooked.
Well, what did you mean it to be made of?
It became a blotting paper.
That doesn't sound very nice.
Not very nice alone. You just slice idea was like tasting other things, such as sealing wax and gunpowder. And here, I must leave you. Only a few hours to go, and then you'll be a queen. Oh!
And the sooner we begin it, the better.
They only said if.
She said she only says if.
But she said a great more deal than that. Oh, ever so much more than that.
So you did. You know. Always speak the truth, think before you speak, and write it down afterwards.
I'm sure I didn't mean it.
That's just what I complain of. You should have meant. What do you suppose is the use of a child without any meaning? Even a joke should have some meaning. And a child is more important than a joke, I hope. You couldn't deny that, even if you tried with both hands.
I don't deny things with my hands.
Oh, nobody said you did. You said you couldn't if you tried.
But she's in a state of mind. She wants to deny something, only she doesn't know what to deny.
A nasty, vicious temper. I invite you to Alice's dinner party this afternoon.
And I invite you.
I didn't know I was to have a party at all. But if I was to have one, I think I ought to invite the guests.
We gave you the opportunity of doing it, but I dare say you've not had many lessons in manners yet.
Manners aren't taught in lessons. Lessons teach you to do sums and things of that sort.
Oh, do you do addition? What's 1 and 1 and 1? 1 and 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 1.
I don't know, I lost count.
Oh, can you do division? Divide a loaf by a knife. What do you get?
I suppose.
Bread and butter, of course.
What dreadful nonsense we're talking.
And of course you know your ABCs.
To be sure I do.
Oh, so do I. We often say it together, dear. Here, I'll tell you a secret. I can read words of one letter. Isn't that grand? However, don't get discouraged. You'll come to it sometime.
Do you know languages? What is French for fiddle-dee-dee?
Fiddle-dee-dee is not English.
Whoever said it was.
If you can tell me the French for fiddle-dee-dee, I'll tell you the English for it.
Queens never make bargains.
I wish queens never ask questions.
What is the cause of lightning?
The cause of lightning is thunder. Oh, no, I meant the other way.
It's too late to correct it. When you once said a thing, that fixes it, and you must take the consequences.
Now what am I to do? It never occurred to me that anyone had to take care of two queens at once. No, not in all the history of England. Because it was never more than two queens at a time, you know. Don't do